Hi, Ricky. I'm Mariana. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Pretty good. So why do you think Ricky looks up to Boyd so much?
Why does Kenny look up to Boyd so much? I think, I mean, the obvious answer is obviously that, Boyd has kind of become a surrogate father, for Kenny. Um, he's even going into town, he's already kind of lost his father figure, physically or sorry, emotionally and kind of like spiritually because of the dementia. And so I think he always kind of looked up to Boyd as a semi father figure.
Do you feel like Kenny has gotten a sense of purpose that maybe he didn't even have in the outside world being the deputy?
Yeah, I think that being in town and being stuck in town kind of forced his hand a little bit. I think that he definitely was looking for a sense of purpose, and I think for a really long time his sense of purpose was to just protect his mom and protect his dad. Now, obviously, being in town, I think it's given him a newfound sense of purpose, kind of like in a more macro sense to protect everybody. Yeah.
Do you feel it seems like, and they've discussed it in that episode, that what keeps his sanity is his relationship with Boyd. But do you think that Kenny is even a little bit more unstable because Kristi's fiance is back?
um, how do I want to put this? Uh, like yes and no. I do think that like at the heart of it, the thing that keeps Kenny afloat because Jesus fucking Christ, he's so close to tipping over. I think it's his mom, and I think that if his mom wasn't there, I mean, who knows what would happen. But I think that like Kristi's uh fiance Marielle coming back to town, I think it kind of made him feel like because I mean, Kenny's a really good guy. He's a real sweetie pie, and I think that the fact that Marielle's in town kind of just reminded him, is like, okay, well then I just have to block everything out and really just focus on how do I protect my mom? How do I protect my mom's heart? How do I help her? Um, yeah.
Yeah. But what about Kenny, Sar? What about his?
What about Kenny's heart? No one asks about Kenny's heart.
Yes. Do you think Boyd should have told Kenny about what Sara did, or was if he telling him would have been just him unloading the burden for himself, and that would have been selfish to tell him?
Look, I do think that Boyd was going to honor to himself the idea that like I'm going to tell Kenny. Eventually, I'm going to tell Kenny, and I'm the one that should tell Kenny. Um, I think that he was going to, but at the same time, it's like I don't blame him for taking the time to tell him because how do you have a conversation like that, right? Knowing that you're about to break this trust and this relationship and this bond that you have with someone who looks up to you so much, not only just as like a role model and as a leader, but yeah, like I said, as a father figure. So it's a tough conversation to have.
Do you think Sara should go into the box?
Me as a audience member, as a viewer, as a reader, as a fan, I don't think that Sara should go into the box. Um, Obviously, because I have the macro understanding that like, oh, like this girl is talking to something we don't know what. But as Kenny, I'm like, yeah, she should go in the fucking box.
I get it. It's mixed feelings because Avery is a sweetheart. I've talked to her before,
Yeah,
but also
yeah,
Sara, you're a loose cannon. Like you keep listening to these voices, and we don't really know what they're going to do next. Like you murdered your brother, you were going to go kill a 9-year-old. Like you've done a lot. So
totally. And even as a fan, I'm like, is she really hearing voices, or is she just kind of like, like I don't know. I
yes.
don't know.
So I just read in the interview like 5 seconds ago that you
Okay.
were inspired to do acting and singing after going to a John Legend concert.
I did.
If you were stuck in the town, what John Legend song or album would you hope that was in your car that you could always listen to?
Ooh. That's a good question. Because so the show that I got to, the concert that I went to was, he did like this small tour for his album Love in the Future, which is an album that I really like. Like I listened to it a lot. But also like his best record for me is still to this day Ordinary People. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic. It's more timeless. I feel like if I had to pick a record, it'd probably be that, or maybe also I really like It Don't Have to Change, which is like a song that he sings with his family, which I think would be really nice if I was stuck in town and I miss my family. So between those.
Good choices. And would you want to live in Colony House or in the town if you were stuck there?
Classic question. And I think if I were there by myself, or even like some friends, Colony House. If I was there with my family, definitely in town.
I feel like everyone has had the same answer, that it's like, if I was
Yeah.
alone, Colony, but if I had people, I'm living in town.
Yeah, because if I'm there, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna have some fun, try pass the days away. But if I'm with my family, I don't want them to be around that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I can't wait to talk to you again about this more and for future projects.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have a good one. Thank you.
You too. See ya.
See ya.